patented technology. They're enabling healthcare providers to deliver critical fluids not only safely but effectively. So yeah, really excited to hand over to the team at Untitled Medical to tell you a little bit more.
Thank you so much. Wenn Sie wollen, kann ich das auch irgendwann auf Deutsch machen. Heute spreche ich auf Englisch. So, hi everybody. My name is Katarina, CEO and co-founder of Untitled Medical. Our journey started with the EU-funded innovation program, where we spent 8 to 10 months at the Children's Oncology Clinic to identify their unmet needs. The most frequent invasive procedure is infusion therapy. 3.8 billion tubes are used annually in Europe and the US. 10% of these get accidentally dislodged during use, with massive consequences, adding up to 28 billion euros in unnecessary healthcare consumption. We'll start with a short video, introducing the world's first ever market-ready breakaway connector for IV lines. Untitled Medical's Relink reduces the risk of accidental IV dislodgement. Relink enables safer therapies for patients and nurses. Relink promotes accurate dosage and avoids spillage. Since it's reconnectable, Relink reduces the time to restart the line and saves valuable bedside nursing time. When we started with working with Relink, we saw the needs from a lot of different wards and angles. Relink is a platform technology laying the foundation for an entire product family with a wide application profile in human and animal infusion therapies in both hospital and home care setting. Relink Care, first ever market-ready breakaway connector for IV therapy, is designed specifically for gravitational IV and bears the CE mark. A clinical trial is planned for late 2021 in Sweden. Relink Advanced is created to be used with infusion pumps and all IV fluids, including blood and blood products. Here we plan a multi-center clinical trial in 2 European countries and have been funded with Fast Track to Innovation from the European Investment Council. Relink Closed System is designed to protect healthcare professionals' exposure to toxic drugs. For this solution, we're planning a clinical trial with 2 university hospitals in Germany. Relink Digital comes with monitoring communication ability to cater the need for the home care market. Relink Vet is for animals and includes a special cap for protecting the connector in case a dog patient needs a walk. Here we collaborate with the only animal university hospital in Sweden, and the clinical trial is planned for autumn this year. When the problem is that something breaks, the standard solution is to make it stronger. We did the opposite. The weak link activation, where Relink separates into 2 parts, prevents the catheter from being ripped from the patient in case of an accidental pulled IV line, reducing the consequences. And that's the biggest difference between us and the competitors who work more with preventing the effectiveness in preventing. The benefits that this gives are many. Safer therapies for patients and healthcare professionals, accurate dose by known infused volume, and an environmentally responsible solution. The benefits all add up to make a better life for healthcare professional and the patient, something our entire team value, and I'm lucky to have the best team in the world. My co-founder, Christopher, is a medical doctor specializing in anesthesiology. Rebecca, another co-founder, is chief COO and has PhD in engineering sciences. I am an engineer with an MBA. The rest of the team are also highly qualified, some with PhD and some with background from top-tier consultancy firms such as KPMG and Ernst & Young. Several of the team members also have patents granted. Collectively, as a team, we have 87. And as a team, we also bring together a lot of different experiences required to bring a medtech product to the market. The access to hospital for trial studies and evaluation has become trickier with the pandemic, and we are proud of our network and that we've been able to secure funding for several studies. We use these as stepping stones to allow Relink to be used in a more advanced application and create optionality. This approach has caught the attention of several larger business-to-business players, and we are discussing with several of them. Some of these sell, some manufacture, and some both sell and manufacture, and there are different streams of sales possibility to collaborate with us, and these are all very interesting discussions and that we would love to have also in depth with new investors, as well as the different revenue streams coming from these. We would also love to welcome investors on board, primarily from medtech, life science, or pharma experience. We open a round after the summer and we'll be looking at 4 million euros. 1.5 of these we have already found. The money will be used for increasing the team, commercialization, and manufacturing. The exit opportunities are after approximately 3 years with an IPO. We obviously see other possibility for exits as well. Thank you for listening.
Cool. Thank you so much, Katarina. That was very, very interesting technology indeed. And again, I'd like to open it up to our investor panels for any questions. Well, maybe I can kick it off. I'd be interested to actually learn a little bit more about the other exit strategies that you guys have worked out as a team as well, just thinking a little bit longer term.
Well, it could be an M&A. The patent would really suit very well. And I mean, it doesn't have to be B. Brown or Fresenius or BD, but it could be, you know, any of these larger players could suit. Having said that, it's we love what we are doing, but looking into licensing deals and playing around with figures, it probably would suit actually.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how many units or how many units have you sold or what?
We haven't sold. We got just in time for Volkova, which is World Congress on Vascular Access. We got the CE mark like a week before, something like that, and we were trying really hard to come to manage within, you know, the change in MDD and MDR and the entire chaos on the CE mark at the moment. So we need to do some adjustments into our manufacturing line to actually decrease the price, because at the moment we produce them in a manufacturing site, but we need to have more caveats, etc., to actually have it making sure the pricing model works. Yeah. But it will work. It will just take a few more months. But we're very proud of our CE mark that we managed. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Perfect. And before we move on, are there any other questions from our investor panel?
Following up on that question, there are actually hospitals that have approached us and want to sell, want to buy.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah. No,
I think we're really on a good track.
Yeah, really interesting. Obviously, I think from the team, it's definitely the right team to push a product like this forward as well. And I'm sure you guys have a super strong network between different hospital systems, and it's smart to incubate, until the right time to launch as well. But yeah, thanks so much. And of course, everybody everybody here has a profile on the Giant conference space, but yeah, we know we can get you guys on tadamedical.com as well. So really excited to keep watching and seeing how you guys grow.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. So we'll move on to our next startup, DeepMed. So DeepMed, they're addressing personalized medicine using state-of-the-art machine learning technologies. And what's really interesting is that they're blending both AI and computational pathology to not only improve cancer detection and reporting, but also care. So yeah, I'd like to hand over to the team at DeepMed to speak a little more to it.
Thank you very much. I do hope you can see the window.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, good afternoon to everybody. A suspected cancer diagnosis is an emotionally testing time for patients and their families, marking the start of a journey through the maze of diagnostic procedures, surgery, decisions about therapy. Cancer services are currently overloaded. Health professionals are stretched even before the pandemic. Choice of diagnostic and therapeutic option has become more and more complex to navigate through. And the pandemic has definitely made things worse. it is now accepted by most experts that machine learning can and will play a significant role in improving the accuracy, efficiency, and quality of most stages of the cancer patient journey, starting from histopathology, which is the immediate focus of DeepMed. Histopathology is a crucial link in the cancer treatment chain, used for staging and grading tumors and helping to match the best therapy with each patient. Since 2017, DeepMed has attracted more than £1 million funding through the SBRI program in the UK, in collaboration with NHS trusts, to make the first steps in digital medicine in terms of supporting histopathologists, specifically to identify metastasis in lymph nodes and assist with disease staging. Our award-winning machine learning models can improve accuracy, currently at 95%, while targeting 98% plus, and save time, currently 2 times, and targeting to save 3 to 4 times, at the same time while keeping the experts in the driving seat. With our first product for breast cancer currently ready for market launch, DeepMed has developed methodologies, strategies, and intellectual property to extract valuable information from histopathology images. Such information methodologies are a foundation of our plan to develop products of direct relevance to each step of a cancer patient journey, being accurate, fast, and personalized. DeepPath Lydia is our first product, currently about to reach CE marking. Our models scan the images from out of the digital scanner, find all regions of interest, however well hidden, and presents them to the doctor for confirmation. Our validations show that Lydia helps experts deliver diagnosis in less than half the time and with higher accuracy. DeepMed is ahead of the competition by using unsupervised learning with generative adversarial networks to deliver the first pan-cancer solution, which can be used across all cancer types, including Lydia's total addressable market 5-fold. This gives DeepMed a unique competitive advantage, even over companies with a strong fundraising track record. At the same time, DeepMed's products work in a complementary way with those of competitors, creating integrated solutions for clinics and patients, creating critical mass and accelerating traction for the whole sector. Our product is engineered to work with any hardware and to deliver its results within the large-scale software platforms that are favored by large hospital end users. Lydia has a compelling value proposition for all stakeholders. Its simplicity, its unobstructive method of delivery, and its decision support nature makes it an ideal entry point for AI solutions in clinical workflows. The business model has a strong SaaS element with all the associated benefits, including very high margins and high customer lifetime value. The global total addressable market for Lydia is around £500 million. Cross-selling of our subsequent products is a strong element of our long-term strategy. For example, our planned recurrence prediction product family on its own has a TAM of £1 billion in a market with expected growth rate of more than 13%. Our sales channel goes via system integrators and local distributors, supported by our internal expert sales team and strong in-house customer support function. A key component of our market entry strategy is our close collaboration with system integrators, with the capacity to provide end-to-end solutions to large hospitals. For example, we are working closely with Fujifilm in the UK and elsewhere in Europe, having participated in common advertising and promotion to several NHS trusts with considerable success. Other players include Philips, Sectra, Hamamatsu, Leica, etc. The pandemic has accelerated the introduction of digital pathology in the NHS and other major markets. There are currently many trusts in the UK that bid for installing histopathology infrastructure, with AI solutions to follow right after. We're lining up trials with selected trusts, for example, Nottingham University Hospital, as well as smaller-sized independent pathology labs. Same trends emerge in other major Western European markets. And we're already in discussions in France and Italy with trusts looking into digital solutions in histopathology. Our leadership team includes individuals with distinguished career in academic, entrepreneurial, and global corporate positions, and a world-class track record on machine learning applications in biotech and healthcare.
Emmanuel, there's 30 seconds.
Thank you. Being near revenue, we look for a bridge capital injection of 500,000, primarily to support market introduction activities until a multi-million Series A raise in 2022, which will allow us to deliver on our product roadmap and extract value from our know-how while creating high-impact solutions and improving improving health outcomes across the patient's journey. Thank you very much. Please get in touch for more in-depth information, Pac. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, to kick it off, I first would like to hand over to any investors on the panel who would like to ask a question.
I would have one, and thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Can you maybe quickly elaborate a little bit more on the workflow, how your solution will either increase or decrease the workflow steps of a pathologist? Because what we've learned from looking at some of the companies in the space is that it's often basically additional steps for a pathologist, and that's often a challenge for adoption.
That's a fantastic question. It's actually, that's why we chose specifically lymph node metastasis detection as our beachhead application, and it was the correct decision, which we took about 4 years ago. It's completely unobstructive. I wish I had the time and the opportunity to show you how it actually works in front of the pathologist's eyes, but they are already in front of a screen doing the digital pathology workflow as they would, and the only thing that our software does, the only thing in inverted commas, is that it just highlights for them, just annotates for them the regions of interest. So they need to do nothing more. It's automatically run through the models as the images are coming out of the scanners, and it gives you the right information at the right time, completely unobstructively. And instead of having to search through a lymph node from scratch for several minutes per lymph node, they can have an answer in seconds, and that's exactly the value proposition.
Maybe a quick follow-up. How many % of the labs that you're targeting already have that fully digitalized workflow, or is that in that specific field?
Another great question. Digital pathology is growing. It has been lagging behind. For example, radiology is a decade ahead, and that's why there's so much more activity in this area. And there's so many small companies using AI for radiology. The pathology, the main problem was that it wasn't digitized. A lot of people are still looking down microscopes, optical microscopes, but they have seen the benefits, and the benefits of digital pathology together with the AI solutions that are coming up is multiple. So there's a bit of a rush now, to be honest, particularly in the UK, which I'm following up very closely, being here. There's a rush of hospitals basically going ahead of the queue to get the infrastructure installed in the labs, so that they are run ahead of the tsunami of cancer cases that is coming post-pandemic. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much, Manuel.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Perfect. And then with that, we can move on to our next company. Really exciting at the intersection of healthcare and nutrition. So an interesting statistic I learned from reviewing this deck was that, with 96% of people reportedly having suboptimal levels of vitamins and minerals, I think human people are providing, or not only informing, but changing the way that people can get real benefits from supplements by analyzing relevant health data from DNA analysis, DNA methylation analysis, etc., blood and gut microbiome. So yeah, really excited to learn a little bit more from the human people.
Hi there.
Hey.
Super. Hi. I'll introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jeff Long. I work in a number of clinics, but also a functional medicine doctor, CEO of Human People. So we're really developing a digital health platform to do a number of things, and preventative medicine has to start somewhere. And like any medicine, it should really start at understanding symptoms, clinical symptoms of disease. And we can pick a lot of these up with things like brain fog, low mood, and anxiety. And people will often self-diagnose and realize something's not quite right, and that's one of the reasons why they turn to supplements. And here in the UK, that actually is 61% of UK adults. So there's an enormous number of people that actually take them. But there's a bit of a problem with that, in that there's no science really applied to this. So at the moment, they go out and they guess. It's like going into your doctor and going, I've got low energy, and he goes, you know what, have a thyroid. I have a thyroxine tablet. So when we actually test these people, we ran a pilot at the end of 2019. We found that only 4% of people actually had optimal levels. So there's millions of people wasting billions on supplements. And we've come up with a solution to do this properly, to really help detect those issues early on. And we do that through a range of home tests. It represents very good value because, in terms of time and money, it means you're not going into specialist clinics like some of the ones we run. So we have experience in this field already, so we know how it works. And that's, we can really help a lot of these symptoms when we use kind of pure, high quality, almost pharmaceutical grade supplements. And we've built this out on a digital platform to really scale this up. And we've got a great team that can build it at speed. So how do we do it? Well, as I mentioned, medicine's not changed. A deep analysis, where we use a questionnaire with an AI algorithm attached to it. We do blood testing, home blood testing, DNA testing, microbiome testing, and it's that integration of all this data allows us then to give recommendations. And of course, nutrition and lifestyle incredibly important. But one of the reasons we've looked at supplements is that it's an easy thing for people to start off with. They understand the numbers, and it's fantastic when they re-engage and retest and see things are improving. And with that, you often see bad habits falling out the other side. In our pilot, one of the issues a lot of people had was around finger prick tests at home. And so we've worked with a spin-out from MIT in the US to use their blood sampling device. We've just completed a validation study with Eurofins using this, and a usability study, which was fantastic. We use a third party for our DNA and gut tests. We have our own packaging robot in-house. Everything is 100% personalized, depending on what you actually require. So although the monetization of the platform ultimately does come from supplements, it's an awful lot more than that. It's about that personalized medicine and digital health. Further down the line, we're also applying for grants to build this out for disease management. Because obviously we're taking clinical symptoms, we're taking a data set, we're given an outcome. And so we've been looking at this for a B2B platform as well. But at the moment, who's our community? It's probably primarily focused on female health. And the biggest users and people who will invest in this are that 35 to 50-year-old female. Our route to market is not necessarily direct to consumer, it's we call it B2B2C, and that's kind of primarily through our own clinics, but also we are working on strategic partnerships with a number of wellness programs, gyms, clinics, as well as those other traditional direct to consumer markets you would imagine. We've got a great team. My co-founder, Henry's an ex-management consultant from Bain. Christine Bailey's one of the leading nutritionists in the UK. Karen Kidd's head of brand at Cafe Nero, ex-Nuffield Health, and a very capable data scientist, and Alex Sparrow. So in terms of revenue growth, we know if we hit around that 900 to 1,000 people, we're looking at an annual recurring revenue of around 1 million. And we're seeking 800,000 to get to that early stage. We've already raised over a quarter of it. And that's to invest in that tech and development platform build out. The marketing, sales, operations and packaging, and that will help us reach that Series A raise. Well, we've had fantastic results, and as we started off looking a lot at the physical, but actually what we didn't realize was how much this has managed to impact people's mental health. And shouldn't be surprising when you dial down a lot of the inflammatory markers, which our algorithms are really based around. Neuroinflammation decreases, and people certainly find enormous benefits. So timing is pretty good. We've just completed our pilot. We're about to do a full commercial launch at the end of the month. From that pilot, we had a very high retention rate. Home testing is widely used, but home blood testing is maybe not quite there. And so we're at a pretty exciting point in that. And I don't think there's any doubt that in the UK, for example, healthy life expectancy is only 62, and in some areas of the country it's only 52, and that's the age before you get one significant disease. So we're living up to 23% of our life in poor health, and digital health is probably the solution to that. So if you want to contact me, details are as below. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much, Jeff. Really interesting solution, and definitely a lot of momentum and energy in the space. I'd like to kick the questioning off just to focus on the competitor analysis and the competitive moat. So obviously there's a lot of popularity around supplements and the space at the moment, but what makes you different to the companies operating in a similar space like Elo Health, which was I think a Will Ventures investment, and what makes you defensible over time against them as you're growing?
So I think one of the, sorry, can you see me, or do I need to hit a?
No. When you're sharing your screen, we can't see you, unfortunately.
Apologies.
Well, I can't. I don't know if the others can. Go for it anyway.
So we've taken kind of the proper approach to it. Well, it's taken us quite a long time, and that is by actually finding which markers most people are deficient in. And it's the integration of all of that data together. So you mentioned before about methylation panels, for example, that genomic risk scoring, bringing all of that data set together. And although, the easy thing is to tell people about nutrition and food plans, etc., tell me somebody who doesn't know that they shouldn't eat more healthily. We've got to make an easy first step for people to get on that journey to personal well-being. So it's actually how we ingest the data and how we produce those recommendations, I think, is one of the unique things about our approach and how we've done it.
Cool. And are there any questions from our investor panel? I'll go ahead with a second question because I think we have Marco.
Yes, thanks for this presentation. Maybe can you give us some more insights on also partners, potential collaborators? So you have a strong B2C focus, that this topic is very relevant at the moment. So when it comes to more the chemical components, is there especially when you go to further markets, so what are the next steps when it comes to collaboration, to partners? So what are potential partners for your journey to further build on and grow your startup? Are there any specific industries or specific players in this chemistry environment?
Do you mean in terms of the route to the market, like such as so clinics like ours we've been speaking to? We've also been speaking to, certainly here in London, there's a lot of companies will subsidize corporate wellness programs. And so we've been speaking to, in fact, 2 management consultant companies with regards to offering that in-house. So the direct to consumer market will be there, but I think that's a much more difficult market than kind of finding those intermediaries. And similarly with some of the gyms that we've been working with. So we're going in there with our nutritionists explaining how it will work. So they have that extra help in hand as well as the other kind of steps would be almost being like a fulfillment platform for some of these nutritional professionals. So they can use our testing platform. They can then use us as the fulfillment when they kind of give advice at the same time. So those are really important strategic. So that's a little bit different from the route to market for traditional DTC.
Okay, cool. But thumbs up, definitely following your journey. So thanks for this presentation.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks so much, Jeff, and thanks, Marco, as well. Okay, let's move on to our next company, who are revolutionizing the urinary tract infection diagnosis space. So Venu are a medical device company, and they are reducing not only the time to diagnosis, but also associated costs within that particular medical group by up to a factor of at least 10. So again, handing over to the team at Venu to discuss it a little bit more.
Hi there, thanks a lot. I'll just start sharing my screen, and let me know if you can see the presentation.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, brilliant. I'll start then. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Srijan Jindal, and I'm the co-founder and Chief Research Officer at Fenutest. It brings me an incredible pleasure and means a lot personally to present this venture to you, because the foundation of this was laid 5 years ago when I started my PhD. Fenutest is a 30-minute rapid urinary tract infection diagnostic solution. Our technical solution is not just faster, but cheaper and more accurate than any other solution in the market and in the development pipeline. Let's look a little bit about urinary tract infections. It is a very famous and well-known disease, but do you know about 100 million people are diagnosed with UTIs every year? More than that, 1 in every 2 women is likely to encounter this disease at some point in her life, making this a major global crisis. Additionally, about 1/5 of all the antibiotic prescriptions in the community result from UTIs, so it does add to a lot of antimicrobial resistance load as well. On the left, you'll see a little brief by a physician who explains how he prescribes an antibiotic to a UTI patient. 2 days later, he receives the correct results, which says that the pills that he prescribed were wrong. And he says, and I quote in the last lines, what should have been a doctor's visit becomes 2, 3, 4-week problem. We can see the extent of this major problem, and a rapid in-house point-of-care diagnostic kit will change this. And that's what we are here to provide. So Fenutest is a spun-out company from University of Liverpool in 2021. Obviously, the work has been going on for about half a decade. And we can identify if a particular bacteria is growing, static, or dying in presence of a particular antibiotic within 30 minutes. So our approach will be implemented in a clinical setting. This is patented, and we've published the results, so there's no doubt about the technology. In terms of the prototype development, we are on board with that, and we are looking at about 5 to 10 times cheaper method than any existing technology right now. For follow-on, we are looking for £2.5 million of funding to obtain a CE mark, finalize our device, and to start the manufacturing and marketing. So what is our solution? Our solution has been patented, and you can read it. It's a technology based upon microscopy and fluorescence. We've done the clinical trials, and we have received about 100% sensitivity and specificity, which is very rare in microbiology space, and we are really proud to announce this. We also use computational method, which provides us high accuracy and no manual intervention. We've got a multidisciplinary team. We've got biology people, engineering, business, and clinicians on board who are very happy to take this forward and put a product on the market. Additionally, we are using advanced detectors, something that could not be used a few years ago, and that's the reason why diagnostic sector is seeing such a big revolution or a change in detection time. And with the new technology, we are very happy to take this forward. We did an intensive market research, and the feedback was really amazing, and I'm excited to share it with you. For example, some adult care centers said that they would love to have our technology in their setup in next 2 to 3 years, which was quite promising and a healthy promise for what we are looking up ahead. In terms of the business timeline, we have recently secured an Innovate UK grant funding of £300,000 to build the prototype, which is ongoing process. Next, we are looking for £2.5 million to finish the prototype development, start the QMS proceedings, CE application, and do some clinical studies to further benefit our case. If you want to find out more, you can contact me or William, who is the CEO of the company. There's our email IDs. And I would like to conclude by saying urinary tract infection is a very deadly disease. And it not only impairs millions of pounds of funding by healthcare systems, but it also delays and prolongs a personal illness. We at Fenutest have seen that there's an opportunity in the market. We've got the technology, we've got the team, and we'll be very happy to have you on board and help us through our journey. Thanks a lot.
Let's open it up to our investor panel to see if they have any questions. So again, feel free to turn on your cameras and ask anything. Yeah. So maybe I can kick it off then. What does the business model look like, and what does that sales cycle look like then? If you're approaching, are you going to try and target the institutional hospitals? I know there's the way the NHS is set up is a little bit different because they'll have their different sections that you can just go straight to. So is it more of a top-down approach in the UK? And if so, what does that look like as you scale through Europe and beyond?
So first, and the most basic thing I would like to say is that most of the companies in this space are chasing centralized facilities and trying to increase the speed at which they test different diagnostic tools or different tests. But we are looking at a point of care. So we'll place our instrument at GP surgery, essentially replacing something which was dipstick test, a very ancient method, unreliable. Same amount of effort from clinicians, same amount of effort from nurses, and much better result. So we are trying to implement it there. Definitely the way that we're going to approach is we're going to first aim at the private clinics, so private clinicians, and then go through the NHS and further on. But our aim is to go approach the private clinicians and then public sector. But we want to place it in walk-in centers, pharmacies, GP surgery. These are our target market rather than aiming for centralized facilities.
Yeah. So it taps into that at-home market space as well.
Kind of closer to home.
Closer to home. I like it. And so on that then, does this technology have the capability to also detect different types of biomarkers? So again, kind of thinking maybe a little bit more towards the future, pulling different, say, nutritional biomarkers that right now traditionally are done via blood tests, and again, the similar 24, 48-hour wait time.
I would say no.
Okay.
However, I like how you're trying to embark a little bit of ambition in our team. But see, we look at phenotypic changes. So, we see the bacteria actually grow. A lot of solutions right now are chasing the whole DNA approach. So they look at the genetic matter. And the problem there is you can't find the false negative, which is a major problem. Even in COVID, false positives, are a major problem. And we're trying to remove that by looking at actual growing bugs. So when we say that it's a UTI positive, we do mean that the bugs are growing. We see what the centralized facilities would see in 2 days. And in terms of other biomarkers, right now we are not looking at that because UTI space is massive space for us. So keeping our head focused, and once this box is ticked, maybe. But I like your idea for sure.
Yeah, that's a great answer. It's easy for me. I can be creative with all the risk from my position. But no, I really like that answer. So the USP sits within that specificity, reduced false positives, and the capabilities via detection and parts per million.
Indeed, yeah.
Cool. Perfect. Any other questions from our investor panel? No. So I think on that great note, that brings our pitch session to an end. I want to thank all the startups for taking part, our investor panel, everybody watching as well. Again, I'm sure you can get all the information from the Giant Health profiles, but also I'm sure it'll be made available to everyone as well. So yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for taking part. It was a great experience, and enjoy. I think there's one more workshop and the closing remarks, and yeah, I hope everybody can have a great evening as well. Thanks.